This year's practice management special interest group of the AVA has brought over a very special person from the United States, Griggs. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Well, you've only been here a short time. That might change. Interestingly, you're an expert in business, and we don't tend to think of veterinarians as being business people.
Mm-hmm. I'd almost like to say that the expertise is in being human, and part of that for the veterinarians is a business. Part of it is kind of regaining that humanity that some, unfortunately, have lost along the way. And we're just saying you're a human first, and the business goes with it. And if we can kind of combine those, bring that back together a little bit, that's pretty good stuff for humans and for business.
That's a very interesting point of view. We see so many self-help gurus and people saying, you've got to be business-like. So what is the Griggs mastery that you're bringing to Australia?
It comes from observing early days in Silicon Valley and watching a lot of people teaching all over the world. I feel that you're human first. We're born with certain things that we've kind of given up as the years go by and the decades. And we leave a little bit of our humanity buried under the responsibilities and the duties and the things that we have to do to survive, to exist first and to prosper later on. And I'm saying, uncover some of that humanity. Take a fresh look at some of the things we were born with, that reasons we love being part of this world. And if we can do that, that makes our profession, whatever it might be, a little more enjoyable and a little more profitable.
So when you come to somewhere like Australia and work with a group of veterinarians, how do you find they compare to, other people that you've worked with?
Oh, it's a fun, joyous kind of a exploration. Here are people who are working with animals. They love animals. They went through a rigorous process to be trained and qualified and board certified. These are wonderful people that care. And sometimes they care so much that it lets important things slide. In other businesses, they can be bottom line, they can just be on the business, they can just, focus on capitalism and things like that. And it in a bank account kind of way, it goes in their favor. But for some of these professions that I'm noticing, dentists, veterinarians, and a few others, that they have a love for people, they have a love for doing something that's helping people, and the business sometimes kind of takes over. I don't know if that's the best way to say it, but I just see kind of a little separation. The humanity goes one way, and business is over here, and I don't see that as sustainable. I see the two going together, and I call it balanced mastery, taking the balance, the equilibrium in your life, jump-starting your humanity, and then whatever you do for a business, your job is to be better than average there. You've got to study some things, and I teach both sides of this and how to put them together.
You're not going to be able to tell me that in 2 minutes, are you? A practical example.
Oh, I tell people, in fact, we used it this morning in one of the sessions. If people ask, what's the one thing I can do? I say, pick your top 5 priorities. Pick your top 5, not your one that you're going to spend all your energy in your life on. We've shown that just doesn't work. That burns you out. It makes you a single-focused kind of person, single-sighted kind of person, and that doesn't work. If you deal with humans or if you deal with animals, if you just deal with numbers or something, maybe it can work. But to have both sides of that equation, pick your top 5 priorities and keep those in balance. That would be the simple way that almost everyone listening, watching, interacting can improve their life and their profession.
Okay, that sounds good. They might have to read your book or one of your many books to do so. The session that we've just heard was also quite remarkable, I thought, because it talked about basically looking at things from a different perspective.
Sure. Yeah, it's called role storming. It's a new approach to creativity and problem solving. I came up with that in the 80s out of Silicon Valley, where people would brainstorm important professional problems with the corporation, the enterprise, or their practice. And they'd run out of ideas, or they'd be afraid to speak up in a group. And the issue was fear of criticism or fear of ridicule. And we had to take that out of the equation by giving them a role to play and combining role-playing with brainstorming. We stumbled upon something that really worked. It's like it took the fear away, it took the inhibition away. Ideas doubled. If you brainstorm, you get a certain number of ideas. If you role-storm, you'll get about twice as many ideas.
I certainly noticed that people warmed up with actually physically getting up and actually participating today. But it's also about getting people to overcome their shyness. They don't have to be great Oscar-winning actors, do they?
Good observation. You're good at what you do there. Yeah. If they're playing a role and you give them the role of an Angelina Jolie or a Mother Teresa or a Gandhi or a Steve Jobs or an Elon Musk, you give them a role to play. And their data points in their brains, the information's there, and that comes to the surface. And their inhibitions go down, their fear goes down, the potential to be mocked by their friends later on goes down. They can just speak from these roles. Here's what might solve our issue. Here's what might solve the problem or the opportunity or the prevention. We kind of have them directed at 3 different types of issues. Everything's not a problem. But if they play a role, their brain is somewhere else, and there's some magic that happens with idea generation.
Well, I certainly think everyone enjoyed the magic today. I know that we certainly did, and I hope that you'll be able to bring your expertise to many more Australians.
I would love to come back. From Colorado to Sydney has been wonderful, and I can't wait for the next time. I'll stay longer the next time.
I think that's a good idea.
Excellent.
Thank you.
You're very